Georgia Court of Appeals has disqualified the Fulton County DA, FANI Willis.
They're taking black jobs now.
Triggered? I'm triggered!
The DA drinking Grey Goose, in case anybody wondering. I am so excited to be here again today. I feel giddy. I don't feel like my reputation needs to be reclaimed. I had cash for years in my house.
Where'd you get the cash?
It is a lie. It is a lie.
No, I paid him cash. I didn't take anything.
Excited?
I paid him cash.
Let's say it for the record. I'm not embarrassed by anything I've done. I certainly will not be choosing people to date that work under me.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
Funny.
They deserve a DA that won't have sex with his employees.
It's spelled Fanny. It's spelled Fanny like your ass, right, Fanny?
That's not something that I find embarrassing in any way.
It's cap and you know I'm a whole ass mood.
Oh, where'd you get the cash? They're not allowed to answer that question. They're not allowed to answer. I paid him cash, she said. I gave him cash. Oh, I didn't take anything. No.
We got a different kind of DA down here in the dirty, dirty South.
And her lover, Nathan Wade. And they hired him for almost $1 million because of his great experience. Of course, he didn't have any experience.
Are you going to be ordering Grey Goose tonight, paying in cash?
I'm sorry folks get pissed off that everybody gets treated evenly. And I'm going to stand up for justice, no matter who is the person that may have done wrong.
He had experience in something else. You know that. A lot of experience.
Deserve a DA that won't have sex with his employees.
I didn't sexual assault anybody.
Who's Anna Rodriguez?
Ask that again, please.
No doubt. Hugging, kissing.
To have inappropriate contact because we deserve better. I certainly will not be choosing people to date that work under me.
Guys, hot off the presses. FANI Willis disqualified, okay? So the Georgia Court of Appeals had determined that FANI Willis, the cash queen with the gorilla grip, okay, so the one that Nathan Wade was having apparently the time of his life, or apparently she got some of that hawk to her, okay, like she got the Gawk 3000 apparently because Nathan Wade couldn't resist, okay, and now FANI Willis has been officially disqualified. Her entire DA's office is disqualified. You know what this means? Nobody in their right mind is going to pick up this Trump case on top of him having presidential immunity. I know these are state charges, but still, like, the guy's about to be president. You saw what happened to FANI Willis. They dug up her dirt. A lot of these people have dirt. It was foolish to get involved, FANI. Stupid. Stupid. Oh, that's crazy. Now every time you turn up, she got cameras in her face like, oh, what you got going on now, Fanny? Oh, what's going on? Where Nathan at? And then Nathan Wade popping up.
Hey, Fanny, how come you haven't complied with the Judiciary Committee's request for your communications with the January 6th committee? Did Joe Biden promise you a position at the DOJ during his second administration? Are you going to be ordering Grey Goose tonight, paying in cash?
Mom, Dad, what's the... Okay.
Connie, nice to meet you.
So,
Nice to meet you.
You mean all the excuses about paying in cash didn't work out for you? Who knew? These are some of the stupidest excuses that I've seen. I can't believe that an actual licensed attorney, this goes to show you guys, if you want to go to school and become whatever the hell you want to become, then this proves that you can do it, because if this dummy idiot was capable of graduating from law school and passing the bar exam, then you can too. Never forget, these are the type of people that we got out there running stuff. So obviously, any of you guys could probably do better than the gorilla grip FANI Willis. But I want to go ahead and react to Fox News and their initial reaction to this. Let's get into it.
Fulton County, Georgia. And here we go. A Georgia Court of Appeals has disqualified the Fulton County DA, FANI Willis, from that election interference case. It's coming down right now.
Get out of here.
The case against Trump and more than a dozen others already largely stalled, as you know. The new ruling means that it will be up to the prosecuting attorney's counsel in the state of Georgia to find another prosecutor to decide on the case.
Which they're not going to
take it over and make a decision as to whether or not they continue with a prosecution of the incoming president.
And former Deputy Assistant Attorney General John Yoo is here. John, does this mean that this is yet another one of the cases against Trump that could go away before he's president?
Absolutely.
It's another example, Dana, of this lawfare campaign that was waged by Democrats, boomeranging back on them and falling all around their ears. Anyone who watched this trial, remember, this is the DA who claimed that the entire Trump reelection campaign was something like an organized crime racket that was intending to deprive everyone of our civil rights to vote. But remember, we saw the dramatic testimony over the summer of how DA FANI Willis had hired her boyfriend, essentially, to be the special counsel, overpaid him, and then had him investigate and bring charges against Donald Trump. It's a complete conflict of interest. And if you take a quick look at the Georgia Appeals Court decision here, that's what it says. There's such an appearance of impropriety, an appearance of a conflict of interest, that FANI Willis should not be the prosecutor. I think this spells yet another case that's going to have to either be suspended or more likely just ended and tossed out. It's hard for me to see another Georgia district attorney wanting to take up this flawed case and try to prosecute Trump on these theories that his reelection campaign was some kind of criminal organized crime enterprise.
John, a couple of things here. There are 14 others that face charges. I don't know what happens to them, but she can appeal to the state Supreme Court in Georgia. But given what the
same thing, because it's not originally even Trump's motion to dismiss. This is Michael Roman. So this would mean effectively that Trump and everybody on the case, because the issue is nothing to do with Trump. The issue is everything to do with FANI and Nathan Wade. So FANI can't prosecute them at all for this at this point.
The Supreme Court said in Washington about immunity. I mean, does the state Supreme Court even take her case in Georgia?
It's a good question, Bill. I think what's going to happen here, along the lines of possible appeals and so on, is it looks likely, because of that presidential immunity decision by the Supreme Court, that any kind of state prosecution of President Trump would have to be at least suspended, if not dropped. You're seeing that going on, those arguments going on right now up in New York City with the case being heard by Judge Merchan. So even if they could get past immunity, they'd still have to suspend it while President Trump was in office. But furthermore, you'd have to go back and then scrub the whole indictment, scrub everything the grand jury did, and say you've got to eliminate anything that used official actions by President Trump, any evidence that came in from White House officials, from anything the president was doing in the Oval Office. That might actually fatally handicap this prosecution and require the whole thing to be dismissed.
It's interesting, too, because she had this novel way of trying to get at him through RICO. Was that a mistake as well? In addition to her personal behavior, obviously, is what they're saying here. But in a way, it was this like novel idea, like, how can I be the one to take Trump down? That's for, like, politically, she wanted that reputation.
Yeah. Dana, you and I remember we're Justice Department alums. Yeah, I remember you when you were there and I was there and we were, there after the days of 9/11. And you can use this kind of statute, RICO, to try to go after real organized crime, drug cartels, mafia organizations. DA FANI Willis introduced, I think, a really dangerous theory, was that we could use these powerful tools that are used for terrorists and drug cartels and apply them to political campaigns, and not just any political campaign, but the campaign by the leading opposition candidate at that time, Donald Trump, the head of one of the two major parties in the country. I think ultimately the whole thing would have been tossed out because of violating the free speech rights of Donald Trump, the free speech rights of the Republican Party, and actually a lot of Americans who supported him. So I think in the end, this whole thing was going to come crashing down around FANI Willis's and the Democratic Party's ears. Anyway,
guys, it's so much winning. You got this bill that was killed yesterday, this bloat bill, this increased congressional pay bill, as if they need to have their pay increase after all of this inflation that they added. You got all of these cases against Trump being dropped. You got the presidential immunity. They failed to remove him from the ballot. People out here trying to kill him. Nothing worked. all these losers failed over and over and over again, and Trump won over and over and over and over. Stop playing with Teflon Don. You're wasting your time. You're hurting yourself. You ever seen somebody like throw a punch or something and they just whoop pow, and then my hand, like they ruin their hand, they ruin their arm. That, like, you remember, I think it was Anderson Silva, if I'm not mistaken, like broke his leg. He was in a UFC fight and he kicked, and he kept kicking at the guy's leg, trying to hurt his leg and trying to leg check him. And then his own legs went like this. That's basically what's happening to the Democrats. These are self-inflicted wounds. They lost Joe Rogan. You got Bernie Sanders and Fetterman and AOC saying that, hey, maybe the party's too radical. This whole thing is burning down, and I'm loving it. The freaking Nancy Pelosi out here is falling down the stairs. Like, man, this is getting crazy. I'm not, and I don't want nothing before anybody says anything bad. I don't want nothing bad to happen to Nancy, for real. It's just like funny how it's like her falling down the stairs is almost like the equivalent of what's happening to the party. So it's just like it's literally coming crashing down, just like Nancy did down the stairs. But guys, this is a beautiful day. It's so much winning. I can't, as you could tell, I can't take all of the winning. It's so much winning.
Please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore.
Okay, evil is not going to triumph. Race hustling is not going to triumph. Imagine being this type of person. You saw how FANI Willis, she coming up there huffing and puffing and this is a lie, it's a lie, all of this stuff. And then you got all of it, you over here with your boyfriend running around to all these different places, and you paying him, like, she got approved for infrastructure projects. For those who don't know, she got approved a bunch of money for infrastructure projects, because the DA does more than just prosecute cases. So she got approved for infrastructure projects, and then turn around and use the money to pay Nathan Wade, and then he turn around and take her on trips. It's so stupid. And she knew about this before bringing the charges. This dummy didn't think anybody was going to look into her and her personal life. That was stupid, FANI Willis. It almost seems like, for an experienced attorney, you almost seem like you're some sort of amateur out here when you're competing in the real world. When you're competing against people nationally, especially some of the most powerful people, it seems like you were playing above your league. And honestly, I hope it doesn't end here. I hope that this fool turns around and gets disbarred for this. You're going to have to apply for some commentary position, start a podcast or something, because you don't need to be out here prosecuting others with this type of attitude and this type of history and ethic. Like, this needs to go all the way to the Board of Ethics. Like, this is crazy. And this lady made a fool of herself. Nathan Wade, the legal system, she got a daughter, her daughter getting arrested. These people were throwing rocks from a glass house, and now their house is shattered and they have nothing. Those are just my thoughts, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate you watching. A Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out.
My office has a 95% conviction rate.
Not anymore.
You're fired. Get out of here. Get the hell out of here. You're fired.